everybody, Greg Rust with you for highlights of round one of the Bridgestone GR86 Championship, the start of a brand new season. 25 drivers in the brand new GR86 Colt car, spec'd up for racing and running on the Potenza RE71 RS semi-slick control tyre. We open the year at what is now the home of supercars when the tour comes to New Zealand. Taupo, centre of the North Island, 14 corners in all, getting a run through 9 and good drive up to 10, super important. Game of patience through 11, but again, drive off the exit, so important for that long back straight. An adventure playground where fans can see so much of the action. Here's a quick look at the first quali session of the year. Really important to get into it and use that early goodness in the Bridgestone tyre. Under cloudy skies, we go on board. Corvette's racing driver Hugo Allen, smooth wheel work. Note that, using all of his experience in this class, he will head up the second row. Josh Bethune, the 21-year-old Aucklander, attacking. This guy has been blindingly fast in the lead-up, a season karting champion, driving for Right Kart's M2 competition on the front row. Hayden Baccaris took pole by just 300ths, but it's a decisive, important result to start the year this way. He knows the track, he knows the series. Great work to Stephen McIver with our pole sitter.
Hayden, congratulations. First pole position in the GR86 Championship brought to you by Bridgestone. How does that feel?
Yeah, it feels amazing. The car, the compound of the tyre, felt really good to be out there at Taupo, and yeah, just great to start off the season on a strong.
It must be quite good because Hugo Allen's been leading the way all through practice sessions. You go and bump one, and you banked it, then sat and waited. Why was that?
Well, these tyres, they're the quickest in the first sort of 2 laps. And that's where you're going to put in your fastest time. So I did my first 2 laps, and then after then, the tyres just fade away. So there's not much point being out there and using up the tyre.
And the new GR86, what do you make of it?
Yeah, it's an awesome car to drive. All the cars are just the same spec, and that's what makes great racing, and that's why we want to be a part of the series.
Can you convert? Convert pole to win?
Absolutely.
So it's 20-year-old Hayden Baccaris who starts this one from pole position. Josh Bethune on the outside of the front row. Hugo Allen starts from the inside of row 2. Zach Blinko, Chris White and Justin Allen out of 5 and 6. Cooper Barnes across from Australia is next out of 7th. Alice Buckley starts this one in 10th. Thomas Mallard next. John Penny leading the way in the Masters class, as competitive and as feisty as always, alongside teenager Jet Murray, Hayden Lyons and AJ Giddy, Mason Potter. Blake Knowles in the 888 car. Simon Hunter and Cormac Murphy goes out of 20th position. Raymond Mallon next. Harry Townsend, Will Morton, Caleb Byers and Christina Orr West will start this one from the back of the field. Is ready for a start. It's a brand new era for the GR86 Championship with Bridgestone on board, and it's a great start from the outside of the front row for Hayden Baccaris, who's going to fight and fight to get the race lead into turn 1, but the Right Kart's entry can't quite get there, and they'll battle through turn 2 and 3 side by side behind Blinko, Allen, White and Allen in there as well. They'll get themselves single file as they run down towards turn 4. It's a snake of Toyotas sorting themselves out. The big braking zone still side by side, but good clean start, Ronan, everyone through.
Yeah, and how great's that, just watching a big group of cars going too wide all the way up through the staircase, up through the elevation change. As we go down to turn 7 there, we can see Arthur Braun trying to go around the outside of the number 30 there of Emerson Vincent.
Yeah, good pass for Brian. Gets the pass done. They're still side by side behind John Penny and Thomas Mallard having a good battle. Penny with his elbows out, as always, on the outside through the sweeper, just slots in behind at turn 9. And now it's that run up to their hairpin as they get to the big braking zone at turn 10.
Yeah, and Thomas Mallard and John Penny are still arguing over that position there. Mallard went up the inside of Penny there, and Penny's just managed to get back ahead of him. So good move there. And Alice Buckley there in the number 50 car. She's making good progress. Gives Emerson Vincent a little rub up on the side there.
And Brian just in behind those two, so he's lost a couple of spots. This is the long run down to turn 12. Big braking zone. And the leaders navigate that nicely. It's all single file now. They sort themselves out. They've got 8 laps to go at the end of this one to decide the first race winner in a brand new season for Bridgestone GR86. But at the end of lap 1, it's Hayden Baccaris who leads Josh Bethune. Hugo Allen, the fastest car on the racetrack. He's up a spot already. Zach Blinko down 1. Chris White, Justin Allen, Cooper Barnes, Alice Buckley up a couple of spots from 10th to 8th. Emerson Vincent 2 and Brougham down to 10th position. John Penny 11th and first of the Masters. And Baccaris looks a little bit under pressure now in the braking zone. Hugo Allen watching on.
We see there Baccaris is actually moving to the inside, so he's really feeling the pressure from Josh Bethune on the 32. Hugo Allen's, he looked for had a bit of a sniff there down at turn 1. And as we watch through here, watch them up the staircase, Bethune's car was really strong through there the last couple of laps, and again, he's gotten a really good run, so we could potentially be on for a sniff down at turn 5 here as they come over the curb there at turn 4, monstering over there in the GR86s.
It's a big move to get it done down the inside of turn 5. It's what they call in the industry a full send, but it can be done. But what this has done as well, Ronan, is bring in Zach Blinko and Chris White. So this is now a 5-car battle for the lead. So the 18-year-old in 4th place, who's a graduate from New Zealand Formula Ford Racing, has got himself to the back of this leading group, and he's brought Chris White along for the ride. So it's now 1, 2, 3, 4 and 5, and Baccaris' car was wide at 9. It looks like he's struggling a little bit with exit there, and it's making him vulnerable. And now there's an opportunity for Bethune to try and find a way past, but watch for Hugo Allen, who gets the nose up the inside. It's for 2nd position. Could it even be for the race lead, potentially?
And that's experience right there. Hugo Allen, he's actually a previous race winner in the previous generation car here at this racetrack. So he knew exactly what he was doing there, put the car in the right spot, blocked the apex for Josh Bethune on the exit there, and he's going to have the inside coming down here towards turn 12.
So it's a braking battle down here into the left-hander, get the curb on the inside, and he gets the spot on the inside as well.
John Penny's going for a move on Arthur Braun there, and he's done it. He's managed to get up the inside. Really good he's given him a bit of a doorful on the way through. He's ended up off the road, so that's JP for you. He's getting his elbows out. Great to see him having a crack. Yeah, and look at that. That's someone with experience at this racetrack, JP. He's certainly done a few laps around here. That pretty much sums up John Penny's driving style in a nutshell. Fast and sideways.
Baccaris has got to hold on just a couple of Ks to get the first race win of the season. Hugo Allen 2nd. So he passed his way. He got past Bethune to get there to 3rd. Chris White and Zach Blinko next. Allen, Barnes, Buckley. Really good start for Alice today. Up a couple of spots to 8th. Emerson Vincent and John Penny. We saw him fight his way into the top 10. Baccaris with a little bit of a margin, and Bethune coming back now at Hugo Allen in this battle for 2nd. Half a lap to go.
Yeah, and I hope I'm not adding the old classic commentator's curse here, but it's been a really clean race up to this point. We've had maybe a couple of little tyre marks here and there on a couple of doors, but other than that, everyone's driven really, really well and really clean and precise overtakes.
Well, it's a long championship, lot of racing to go.
Very true.
Not much point turning the thing into a canoe in the opening race of the season. Having said that, stranger things have happened in one-make racing like this.
And even there, we saw again down at turn 11, Baccaris tried a different line there. He wasn't under as much pressure from Allen, so he's gone a bit wider and tried to then V the corner off and get a good exit to try and prevent any sort of attack from Hugo coming down the back straight.
What a drive this has been. Hayden Baccaris. He's been under pressure the whole way through, but he's executed to perfection. And the first race winner in this brand new era for the Bridgestone GR86 Championship is Hayden Baccaris. He edges out Hugo Allen and Josh Bethune in a great race. So Hayden Baccaris, who was 6th in the championship last year, had some strong results. Could he be the early favourite? Well, he's won the first race. He beat home Hugo Allen by just under a second, with Josh Bethune next.
Hayden Baccaris, well done, mate. Pole win. How does that feel?
Perfect. Couldn't have had a better start to our season. Massive thanks to our team, McKinsey Motorsport. They've done so much for me this week, and I wouldn't be here without them.
And the car itself, in race mode, in the real deal, how did it feel?
Pretty nerve-wracking having all those cars behind me. But no, over the race, the car felt really good throughout the whole thing, and yeah, feeling comfortable in it now.
Okay, go get ready to stand on the top step, mate.
Nice work, Hayden, converting P1 to a race win. That is the way to set the tone to start the season. We need a break in our Repco Next Gen coverage. Race 2 of the Bridgestone GR86 Championship coming your way on the other side of this. Welcome back. The drivers are getting ready for race 2 of the weekend. But first, our Richard Crail caught up with Christina Orwest to find out how she's liking the new GR86 and the level of competition here at the season opener.
Christina, back for another season of GR86 here in New Zealand. This field this year is incredible, isn't it?
Oh, it's amazing, and we've got a few extras from all the testing. We've got 25 cars in total. I think it's the biggest field that we've had, and it's just so close. There's, you know, we're all within like tenths of each other. You make up a tenth and you move up like 5 spots. It's just crazy.
Tell me about the new car. Does it feel like a step up from the old car?
Yeah, it definitely. It's a lot more stable. It's not all up in itself, but it's yeah, like on the warm-up lap, you can feel like you can even push on the warm-up lap. In the old cars, you'd spin out.
And Bridgestone tyre as well, so that's another change for the category.
Yeah, absolutely. It's definitely really good in the wet compared to the old tyre. But yeah, we're just learning them. You know, it's all about tyre pressures, and they don't last for very long, but because we push pretty hard on them.
What's a good result for you this season? Where do you aim to end up amongst this incredible, talented field of literally teenagers?
Hey, at the moment, I'm just hoping for a top 10. Obviously, I'm going for the Masters as well, so I just got to keep in front of 2 of the old fellas. So I say old, but they're not that old. But yeah, so that's my goal, is to win the Masters, but definitely to be in that top 10 and racing the young ones.
Beat some 16-year-olds.
I know, right? It's just like I'm sitting there in driver's briefing going, God, I feel old.
Enjoy yourself, go well, and good luck this season.
Thank you very much.
The sun is shining and there is some anticipation in the air for this race. Bridgestone GR86s, they eased their way into a brand new season yesterday, but with a reverse top 10, you feel like today could be even more exciting. The veteran John Penny starts from pole position. 16-year-old Emerson Vincent starts on the outside of the front row. Alice Buckley was superb yesterday. She goes from 3rd. Your winners yesterday a little bit further back. Josh Bethune had a penalty in the race, so 5-second penalty. Cross the line 3rd. Man, it penalises you though. He ended up down the road in 8th. Cormac Murphy yesterday started 20th, ended up 13th. We get set for Bridgestone GR86 reverse top 10 race to kick us off on Sunday here at Taupo. Vincent with the better of the starts. Penny's going to have the inside run into turn 2. Can Vincent sweep around the outside? He'll certainly try, and he'll succeed as well. He grabs the lead. Penny's back to 2nd. It's busy behind though. Alice Buckley's got the elbows out as well. Barnes as well. Good start for Cooper. It's side by side and off in a big way at the back of the field.
And that looks like Simon Hunter and Jet Murray, one of the Australians. So unfortunate there, some contact, but the rest of the field seems to have gotten away well. We've got a big concertina of cars down towards turn 5.
Look at this.
Alice Buckley's been shafted. She's now off the track out on the exit there of turn 5. So unfortunate set of events there, and it actually looks like it's done a bit of damage.
Yeah.
She's actually pulled off.
They were 3 wide for a moment there, Ronan going in, and it was Cormac Murphy who was making it 3 wide going down the inside in the Penny Holmes car.
And he's now trying to hang it around the outside there and make it 3 wide again there, going through turn 8, down towards turn 9. And Cooper Barnes, Cormac Murphy's made it right through. He's just past Cooper Barnes, who started on the 2nd row of the grid, so Cooper hasn't had the best of starts to the race.
Cormac's flying, Ronan. He's charging up the order.
Still got a huge gaggle of cars, so we'll have to wait for them to come around.
It Trail ITM car in the mix as well. They're still side by side at turn 11. And now what about an opportunity to sort themselves out as they run down the long straight. Great shots from the drone. Cast your eyes right to the back of the field. They're still 3 abreast, sorting themselves out at the back.
The leaders now coming through the final section through turn 11. John Penny and Emerson Vincent have actually broken away a little bit from the rest of the pack. So John Penny's a bit of a Taupo maestro. He's going to be just working to chip away on the back of Emerson Vincent, and 16-year-old, he's leading the race for the first time.
So Emerson Vincent leads lap 1, 16 years of age. John Penny second. Zach Blinko up to third. Hugo Allen had a really solid day yesterday. He's fourth. Chris White next. Josh Bethune has made up positions from 10th at the start, so he's up to 6th. Hayden Baccaris to 7th. Justin Allen, Mason Potter, Arthur Brown. Cormac Murphy up 2 more spots, racing his way towards the top 10, up to 11th. The run down into turn 5 in particular was where a lot of it teed off. So that was a little hip and shoulder for Jet Murray in the 37, getting pushed out to the left.
Yeah, and then Cormac Murphy's fired it down the inside to make it 3 wide. A little bit of contact there on the exit between a couple of those guys, but unfortunate for Alice Buckley. She's just had some really bad luck.
So everyone takes a deep breath now in this 10-lap race.
Oh, but Hugo Allen's trying to go around the outside there. That's going to be sketchy. Ah, and they've managed to keep it 2 wide the whole way through. That's a great bit of racing between those guys for the 4th position.
I don't know if they've ever felt the need to monitor track limits on the entry to turn 12, Ronan, but they might have to after this. But Chris White, his exit from the corner, he struggled, and around Hugo Allen goes the outside. They'll go side by side through 1 and into 2.
But Hugo's going to now have the inside here for turn 2, and that's the beauty of this racetrack. You can go 2 wide like this. They're still 2 wide.
Contact.
Coming up over turn 3 and 4. Chris has managed to hold him off, and he's taken the position away. So great bit of driving there, and that started all the way back at turn 11 on the previous lap, Richard.
This battle continues. So Penny, he's so good through the first sector of the lap, Ronan. So through turn 2 where they are now, turn 3, the staircase as you called it yesterday, and then this important braking zone into turn 5, and if anything, he's just pulled away a little bit from Zach Blinko.
I was going to say, JP, John Penny, the wily fox that he is, he's actually closed in a little bit on Emerson Vincent, so that little breathing room between him and Zach Blinko's just given him a chance to relax a little bit, and he's managed to just build the rhythm, get a bit more speed out of the car, and he's actually closing in. So now that gap's now 0.8 of a second.
Ronan dramas for Chris White. So the pack and save car, yellow and black car, middle of shot. He lost a couple of positions. I wonder if he missed a gear down the back straight. And that will be very frustrating because that young man from Christchurch is celebrating his 18th birthday today. Wow. So happy birthday, Chris. But unfortunately, I think he missed a gear coming out of the hairpin and was gobbled up immediately by Hugo Allen and Josh Bethune, who's got to 4th and 5th places respectively.
I think Cormac Murphy might have entered the pit lane as well. He's dropped right down the field, so that's really disappointing. We'll have to chase that up and see what's happened there. But further in the field, I think you're right. And look, Zach Blinko, he's given him a bit of a nudge there between John Penny and Zach Blinko. So now they're going to go 2 wide, and Hugo Allen's going to try and take advantage of this and try and follow John Penny through and take that position off Zach Blinko.
Penny is on the right side of the road. It's the left to get into the left-hand corner, so he holds on, and there's going to be a change of position behind. He called it brilliantly, Ronan. The 88 car is going to be on the outside here. Oh, close, but they get through.
Hugo Allen just cleared him, and he got a brilliant run through A1, and now he's trying to attack John Penny. So John Penny's running that line just a little bit more conservative, a bit to the inside. He's actually a little bit of puff of smoke coming off John Penny's car there.
How's this battle,
Josh Bethune's on the outside, trying to go around the outside of Zach Blinko. So
this is awesome racing stuff in Bridgestone GR86. Race 2 of 3. Race 1 winner, Hayden Baccaris. Good run out of the hairpin, but there's no room there at the moment on Chris White. Is there an opportunity for a pass down the inside and off the road at the top at turn 11? There was an enormous battle pack going on for about 15th down to 25th.
The number 8 car of Thomas Mallard's. Baccaris, the race 1 winner. He's down the inside of Chris White. That's a pretty authoritative pass. He's just fired it down the inside. But, again, the beauty of this track, Chris White's managed to stay on the outside there and fire it back up the inside for turn 2.
This is the GR86 racing we have been looking forward to seeing all weekend long. Let's go and unpick this.
Oh, and he's been unloaded. Yeah, that was I think it was AJ Giddy there in the number 10 car that's unloaded Thomas. So really unfortunate there for Thomas.
finally there could be a mistake. John Penny a little bit wide out of the left-hander, and finally it's taken 8 laps. Could he drop from second, or will he continue to fight? And Hugo Allen gets through. Nice pass. Baccaris goes down the inside. This is a side-by-side battle now.
With Chris White Jr., and they're coming through there. Still too wide. Bit of contact, bit of biff and barge, but nothing wrong with that. And Mason Potter's actually looking to go up the inside of him as well. So bit of capitalising going on there. And again, they're going to try and hang it too wide around the outside here. Chris White Jr. is going to have the inside for the next corner there at 2, but he's managed, I think, Mason Potter's managed to clear him. So
there's our leader, Emerson Vincent. Last lap of the race. Yesterday there were all seven teams represented on this year's grid were represented in the top 10 of yesterday's race. That shows how competitive and even it is in this year's Bridgestone GR86 Championship.
And looking at the times there, Richard, I think Hugo Allen's probably actually going to be a little bit frustrated after this race, because on that last lap there, he set a 141.7. He was the only driver in the field in the 141s that last time around. He was half a second faster than our race leader, Emerson Vincent. So I'm sure he's going to be thinking to himself, hey, great job, kept the car clean, gotten up to second position, but if we'd managed to find a way past John Penny, who's a brilliant driver, brilliant defensive driver, might have been able to do something about Emerson Vincent.
This guy is exactly what this championship is all about, finding the next generation of New Zealand superstars. And I wonder if we might have just uncovered one here. He's 16 years of age. He goes to King's College. There's a battle still going on for 3rd and 4th, but Emerson Vincent will come out of the final corner. His second ever race in Bridgestone GR86 is a victory. Brilliant drive. So the 16-year-old goes to victory in his second ever GR86 race. That's a huge drive. He's a regular over at Western Springs in the speedway scene, so great natural car control. Hugo Allen and Josh Bethune next.
First season and you get a win. Emerson Vincent, congratulations. How does that feel?
Oh, definitely pretty stoked, to be honest. I mean, we started off this weekend with a hiss and a roar, but I think with the team's help and all the motivation my dad has given me and stuff like that, I think it's definitely helped. So I think, but yeah, couldn't thank the team more from Action Motorsport, yeah.
The adjustment from going to open wheel to tin tops, how hard has it been? One would suggest with the win, it hasn't been that hard at all.
Oh, it's not too bad. I think it's just the little things, you know. But I do prefer the tin tops, you know. It's definitely way more fun of the drive.
The other thing too, getting past John Penny, getting past the pole sitter, how exciting was that? And how hard was it to hold on?
I was definitely had some nerves being in the front, you know, as there was definitely fast guys behind me. So I don't know, I just need to turn my driving down 5% and just really concentrate, you know, just don't worry about the people behind me. But I think it all worked out, so it's definitely good.
Mate, never turn it down, turn it up and keep on flying. Congratulations on your very first win in the Bridgestone GR86 Championship, buddy.
Yeah, thank you very much.
How good are these new Toyota 86 race cars? 2 races down, lots of stories already emerging from this class field, and we are not done yet with our coverage. The feature race is coming your way in just a few moments. Fantastic conditions out there ahead of race 3 in the Bridgestone GR86 Championship. Before we get going, we meet one of the Aussies to better understand why they love coming over the ditch to race in New Zealand at some of our awesome venues.
Hey, Jet Murray, welcome to New Zealand. Tell me about why you're here and what the plan is for this summer.
Plan is just to get more laps over in New Zealand and be ready for the season next year in the TGRA 86 series again, and hopefully can go bigger and better. Competition's pretty hard over here, learning new tyres and brakes and stuff like that, getting used to the team, pretty fun, but yeah.
And the car's slightly different to the one you race in Australia, isn't it? So how's that adaptation process going?
It's a bit harder on the tyre. You can't really slide it as much, or it just goes off straight away. Where the Dunlop, you can overdrive it a bit, and the brakes are a little bit different, but they're pretty easy to get used to.
What do you think about this racetrack?
It's not the easiest racetrack I've been to. The racetracks in New Zealand are definitely a lot harder than Australia. So I think that's why people like SVG and that come to Australia and they're on it straight away and stuff like that. So they're definitely not as easy, and we've got some harder ones coming up like Highlands, but I can't wait.
Cool to see you following in your brother's footsteps, mate. Go well this weekend and enjoy the summer.
Thank you.
So here's how they line up. Hayden Baccaris and Josh Bethune have been the star performers along with Hugo Allen this weekend. Chris White out of P4, Cooper Barnes and Zach Blinko out of the third row of the grid. Arthur Broham and Cormac Murphy goes out of 8 alongside Alice Buckley. So dramas for those two drivers in race 2, but they're redeemed a little bit by their starting position in this one. Justin Allen and John Penny, the Masters leader, with Mason Potter out of 12. Then it's Emerson Vincent and Harry Townsend. Caleb Byers and Jet Murray, the Aussie over in 16th place. Simon Hunter and Thomas Mallard, the boys were just talking about as well downstairs, out of 18. Blake Knowles and Raymond Mallon. Hayden Lyons is next with AJ Giddy out of 22. Cam Hill and Christina Orr-West, who drove superbly in race 2, to charge up to 13th place. And then Will Morton, the 25th and last car on this massive grid. Eyes to the lights. Final race of the weekend. Bridgestone GR86 Cup launches into the finale at Taupo. Baccaris in the 20, Bethune in the 32. Drag race between the two of them towards turn 1. There's nothing in it between them. It's a big commitment to go around the outside, but that's exactly what Josh Bethune wants to do, and it puts him in the right position to be on the right side of the road for turn 2, which is what he does. And the right karts by M2 Motorsport car gets in front, wrestles the lead away from Hayden Baccaris. Chris White up a spot to 3rd, Hugo Allen 4th. And now the big hold your breath moment into turn 5 as they sort themselves out 2 by 2 in the back of the field. But that was big commitment around the outside of turn 1 by Josh, and he's got the early race lead.
And that right there was the perfect start. You know, absolutely beautiful job there by Josh Bethune to be able to hang it on the outside of turn 1. There's less grip on the outside, and he managed to keep the corner speed up enough that put him on the inside there coming through for turn 2. Prime position, and he's now taking the race lead. 25 cars started, 25 make it through the first complex here at Taupo. It's busy behind. Cormac Murphy and Arthur Broham are dicing over 7th and 8th. Alice Buckley in the mix as well. Such a shame to see her out of the earlier race today, but fighting back. She's on the outside now of Cormac, so that's 8th and 9th place as they work themselves out with Justin Allen in the Napa car just in behind them. And Cormac Murphy and Alice Buckley there, they're working pretty hard trying to get a move done on Zach Blinko, who he's actually got quite a good run though onto the back straight. And as we look further forward there, Chris Wright Jr. did a great job to get past Hugo Allen. He's taken that 3rd spot away from him, so Hugo will be kicking himself a little bit there, and he's just going to do what he did in the first couple of races, try and settle into a rhythm and let it play out ahead to try and move forward.
Lap 1 of 12 done. Bethune, Baccaris, White and Allen. It's busy behind the Pizza Hut car. Mason Potter looking down the inside of Emerson Vincent, who won race 2 earlier this morning at 16 years of age.
They drop a bit of dirt coming through there, through turn 9, down towards the big sweeper before they make a run back onto the straight as Hugo Allen's getting right up behind these guys. Baccaris is running really defensive as Chris White's, he's made a gap. If the gap's not showing, you might as well go and make one, and he's managed to do that as he's, again, sort of not quite managed to get the speed off, but Hugo Allen's taking advantage of this, and he's got a great run up the outside of him.
He's got the draft from the car in front and the side draft from the car inside, and
he's managed to do it. Hugo's cleared him. Really smart racecraft there from Hugo Allen to be able to take that 3rd place off Chris White Jr.
He was the tip for this one from our boys downstairs. Stephen McIver and Andrew White. Wade tipped that he would be the one to beat in this race, so he's now got himself to 3rd. Chris White back to 4th. Great racing though. There was definitely some bumper bar involved up there at 11 though.
Yeah, there was definitely a little bit of door-to-door, and actually Arthur Braun's done a brilliant job. He's there in 5th place, so he started a couple of rows further back than where he is now, so to be up into 5th place is a great job from the Mackenzie Motorsport driver.
All of this battling as well has helped Josh Bethune pull out a full 2nd to the good over the remainder of the field. So he's been able to gap this battling pack, and while they continue to squabble over 2nd, 3rd, 4th and 5th position, he's in the ideal position to put his head down and drive away. 1:41.6 last time by, and that was comfortably quicker than anyone else on the racetrack. So 3 done. Bethune, Baccaris, Allen, White and Bryan, the top 5. Cooper Barnes, the Aussie, racing over here for the first time in this spec car in 6th position. Zach Blinko 7th. Cormac Murphy doing a great job in 8th place. Alice Buckley the same in 9th. And Justin Allen rounding out the top 10. John Penny been shuffled back a little bit in this one. He's 13th. He still leads the Masters class. And also from the back of the field, Christina Allwest up to 21st. Worth touching on the vastly experienced driver in the 55 car who's made a little bit of ground in this one.
Yeah, and as we see there, the top 9 cars on the last lap, Richard, were all in the 141s, and Hayden Baccaris was the standout of that with a 141.1. So he was pretty lightning on that last lap, and he's obviously, Hugo Allen's really given him a hurry up. Hugo Allen did a 141.2 on that last lap, so they were about a 10th or 2 quicker than Josh Bethune was on the last lap. So a 10th's a 10th at the end of the day. They are making inroads rather than losing ground to him, but I'm sure Hugo, based off how his car sort of went in those last couple of races, he's clearly got some speed to burn. Just a bit of a note to keep in the back of our minds, Richard. We just saw there, I think, Hayden Baccaris and maybe a couple of other cars a little bit further back. Just coming through that turn 3 there, from my understanding of the rules, you're allowed to use the apron on the inside of the curb there, but if there's a plume of dirt, that's technically a track limits violation. So I'm sure the driving standards observer, Rowan Shepherd, and the team at Toyota GAZOO Racing New Zealand will be keeping an eye on that and just watching out to see what the who's being a bit naughty and who's within the rules in terms of the track limits. So that's just going to be one to keep an eye on. I'm sure it's only just a warning for now, but certainly is something to factor in, because as we know, all these young bucks, and they're all having a big go and having a crack, and so sometimes they like to push it beyond the limits, and certainly something to keep tabs on for the rest of this race.
Cormac Murphy and Alice Buckley having a really good battle for 8th and 9th position. So the Penny Holmes car had to defend on the run down the straight, and they're going into turn 1 now. Cormac puts his car down the inside. Buckley, the Castrol AC Delco entry, looking to go around the outside. Could open up the door for a little over-under on the run into turn 1 and 2. Some battles going on behind them as well.
And again, another plume of dust coming up through there. So certainly, hey, they're pushing the limits, and that's what we love to see. As we see, we're coming down towards turn 11 again. Alice Buckley still putting Cormac Murphy under a fair amount of pressure. Cormac running the defensive, a little bit more defensive line, just enough to sort of take away the incentive to look up the inside. Oh, I think he's missed a gear there, because Alice has gotten up the inside of him. So clearly the pressure was working, and he's buckled a little bit, but the positive out of it, he's only lost 1 spot, and he's going to get back up behind and try and chase down the cars ahead.
Back to the front, Hayden Baccaris finds himself under pressure from Hugo Allen. I was just thinking that there'd been a couple of laps where things had started to breathe and they just knuckled down and went racing, but Allen looking really racy now, and Baccaris under pressure. The margin to the race leader pretty consistent at 1 second. He hasn't pulled away, but they're also not making any ground, and there's an opportunity for a move down here.
I think we're going to see one.
Allen.
Oh, he's very on the defensive there, Baccaris, and Hugo's given him a bit of a rub up to get himself right up his side. So this is what we're talking about. He's actually got to run this time. He's not, and he's going to try and go around the outside here at turn 7. There's a lot more grip than there used to be, so he might be able to actually hold it around the outside depending on how much room Hayden gives him, and he's managed to do it. Brilliant bit of driving there from Hugo Allen, and this is a carbon copy. These last couple of races, you go sort of halfway through the race, and his car just seems to come on strong, and he's managed to get it done.
Got him.
Beautiful pass, and as you can see there, Chris White Jr. is trying to capitalise on this as well.
But Baccaris isn't done, Ronan. He's going to have a return of serve up here at the hairpin. Great racecraft between the two of them. A little bit of door banging, but it was all fair. Really good racing. Arthur Bryan and Cooper Barnes have been dragged into this as well. So Allen gets the spot.
Really smart bit of driving there as well. You can see there just from that long camera shot, he actually braked the car quite early because he didn't want to go too deep because it might force him to go off that defensive line. Oh, as we've seen there, Raymond Mallon in the 34, he's had a bit of a moment, or maybe there was potentially some controversy, as we see a replay here. He's just, too deep.
Oh.
So that's what we're sort of talking about before, you know, in the situation with Allen and Baccaris, just slowing the car up a little bit more so you can keep that tight line. Obviously, Raymond's there just unfortunately outbraked himself and ended up off the track.
This battle's not done. Hugo Allen got the job done to get to second, but Baccaris is absolutely not letting him get away. Here's a move down the inside. There was almost an opportunity to get down the inside there for Browen in the 222. And a big moment. Allen had a big slide through the final corner too. So that little car length that he dragged out from Hayden Baccaris has just disappeared. And Cooper Barnes just puts the nose out. No opportunity for him to make a move. Feels like this is about to bubble over somewhere here. This is a great fight. Blinko's under massive pressure from Alice Buckley. Zach's 18. He's a graduate from Formula Ford racing and came out of go-karting in 2020. And he's been racing North Island Formula Ford, had a couple of wins in the 2024 championship too. Actually works for the Giltraps at Giltrap Audi as an apprentice. So he's on the tools during the weeks and then jumps into the Toyota on the weekend and backs it into corners like that and does a really nice job. And his goal this weekend is Rookie of the Year. The pace he's had this weekend, he could aim higher than that because he is a genuine top 6 or 7 contender for this weekend.
We've had someone's fired off the track there.
They're on in front, side by side. So Browen and White.
The two pack and save cars.
It's a battle for the sponsorship, is it? Cooper Barnes has got them both.
They're very hard to tell apart, and exactly right. Cooper Barnes has taken advantage of whatever's happened down there, down at turn 11, and Arthur Braun's not going to let this go. He's fired right up the inside. Chris White's looking like... and they're both sideways, managed to pull it up. Great bit of car control from both those two young guys.
Still side by side.
Still side by side. He's given a bit of a door there, so there's a bit of biff and barge and probably a little bit of red mist involved, but Arthur Braun's, he's just escorted him a little bit wide to really make sure, and nothing wrong with that at all. Zach Blinko's actually taken advantage of that, so unfortunately on that last lap there, Chris White Jr.'s become the big... I think he might have a puncture as well. He's just lost a heap of time, so that's so disappointing for...
Massive championship points.
Chris Jr.
Massive championship points dramas as well, to have a drama this late in the race after such a strong weekend.
Yeah, he's got a serious issue there, the car's...
So that all teed off out of shot when they went up to the hairpin. I reckon they were side by side and ended up off the road.
Yep.
And that's allowed Cooper Barnes in the 186 to grab them both. And as a result, it's punched on from there.
The gap hasn't really changed too much. Josh Bethune's been doing a brilliant job out front by himself. He's to the tune of about 3 seconds up the road on Hugo Allen. It's now 2.9, so it's a bit of a stalemate. It's going between the high 2s and low 3s, and you know, it's almost a case of what could have been if we could have seen what Josh Bethune and Hugo Allen could have done if they went hammer and tong from the start.
Well, this is a brand new race team that's been put together for this year's GR86 Championship. Wright Karts and Mark Pilcher's M2 competition squad. M2's been around for a long time, hugely successful outfit, and haven't they put together a really good program? And Josh Bethune, who's 21 years of age, lives in Whitford. He has executed to perfection this weekend, and especially in this one. He's come out of open wheel racing, spent some time in the US actually racing US F4, so he's pretty sharp in wings and slicks competition. 21 years of age, so by the context of a lot of drivers in the field, he's one of the old experienced ones in Bridgestone GR86, but you can tell that level of experience in this race run and being able to pull away like he has with half a lap to go to what is going to be an impressive victory.
Yeah, he's doing a brilliant job, and he's just managing the gap, controlling the race. He's very experienced, so he knows he's got plenty of experience to draw on in the tool chest of Josh Bethune. But he's done a great job, and he's just as we come down on the final lap down the back straight to finish off the race.
His aim is to make a pathway from karting to car racing with Wright Karts and M2 competition. He's proving that that is going to work. What a drive this is. Avoided the chaos behind. And Josh Bethune is going to win race 3 in Bridgestone GR86. He celebrates with panache as he crosses the line. And it's a win on debut for Wright Karts Academy with M2 competition. So well done, Josh Bethune. Great drive. The battle behind was fast and furious. Hugo Allen and Hayden Baccaris scrabbled that out, and Allen ultimately got past and got to second place. Cooper Barnes and Arthur Brown next. Buckley, Murphy, great drive to 7th. Emerson Vincent, Justin Allen and Mason Potter. John Penny wins the Masters class for the weekend with a sweep.
Well, you just got better and better. That must feel so good, Josh Bethune.
Yeah, it's been great. The boys at M2 competition by Right Cuts have really made the most of the car. We've learnt a lot, and like with all 4 of the boys, we're moving forward in the right direction. Yeah, just massive thanks to my sponsors: JW Group, Rotax Racing, Firewatch Otago, Right Cuts, M2 competition on the pace. Yeah, and it's been good to get in there.
It feels like all the field, it's only taken 3 races to find their feet in the new GR86.
Yeah, it's certainly taken a lot more than 3 races, that's for sure. We've done a lot of pre-season testing, but yeah, it's been a really amazing day.
Congratulations, mate. Ready for a podium.
Thank you.
Podium time here in Taupo, and we can tell you that the race officials have deemed that part of Josh Bethune's race clothing isn't legal or doesn't comply. He has been excluded from the results, which actually gives Hugo Allen the race win and now a valuable early points lead in this championship. So Emerson Vincent sits 3rd in the standings with the experience. Justin Allen and John Penny well placed. Nice work by the former kart star Arthur Braun, who's learning with every outing in these cars. Teams will now have a break for Christmas. We will reconvene for round 2 at Hampton Downs in mid-January. We cannot wait for that. It's going to be a fantastic summer. You can feel that already. On behalf of Stephen McIver and all of the team, it's bye for now.